Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jake the Fate, and in this video, I'm going to be doing a review and demo of another Schecter guitar. Here I have the Synyster Gates Custom S Schecter Diamond Series guitar. And like I do with all my videos, I'm going to do like a real deep dive into this, a real deep spec dive on this guitar. So if you guys are interested in getting one of these, you know, hopefully you guys watch this video and know what to expect when you guys get this. I'm going to take this to the workbench and I'm going to show you guys spec by spec what this guitar is and what it has and cool features. And then I'm going to give it a real quick demo and tell you guys all about it.
Alright guys, so these pickups right here, it's his Seymour Duncan Synyster Gates Customs. But don't let the size of this thing fool you guys. Like really, this thing is a shredder guitar right here. You know, this neck is like pretty thick. Alright, so excuse my stuffy nose, I got a little sick again. The body on this guitar is a mahogany body with a 3-piece mahogany neck. It's got carbon fiber reinforcement rods in here. It's got 24 jumbo frets. I personally love having 24 frets on my guitars. It just feels more at home. When you're playing from like the 12th fret, it doesn't feel like it's too low. Now this fretboard is an ebony fretboard, and for some weird reason, it gets dirty pretty quick. I clean this thing as often as I can because this thing, I like to keep it in mint shape. But for some reason, the fretboard is always dirty. I don't know why. Like, the scale length of this guitar is a 25.5-inch scale length, and the fretboard radius it's a 16-inch radius. So the nut width on this guitar is a 41.3 millimeter. 24 jumbo frets here. They're not, you know, stainless steel or anything. You already see that I've worn these in a little bit, but you polish these things up real good, you know, you get some nice pitch bends. Now the neck on this thing, man, this is probably the best neck I've ever played on, just because it's a super ultra thin C-shaped neck. It's super fast, man. Like, it's got ultra access. I'm gonna turn it around, but Schecter is pretty good on that. They just always deliver. Now, of course, you know, this one is the black one with the silver pinstripes. And the one thing I don't like about this guitar is that it's literally like the worst thing for fingerprints. Like, it's freaking annoying, you know, especially because I have sweaty hands. So I try to like not touch it as much as possible, but it's hard when you're playing. It's a flat top, you know, there's no arc to it. And this body shape, it's the Avenger shape, but the only difference is obviously the headstock. Beetle horns, or like the devil's horns or whatever it is. But you got the Synyster Gates new logo, because before he had the skull with the hat. And this is pretty cool right there. You know, it's got the silver on the black and like the black on the silver, so it like matches with the stripes up here. And honestly, I prefer this headstock because like I look at the Avenger shaped bodies and the headstock on those things looks so weird. My opinion, obviously, but looking at this guitar, even with just like the pinstripes, it just looks more aesthetic than, you know, the regular Avengers. And now I'm going to take off the strings and show you guys what's under the hood here. And there's a lot going on here, a lot. All right, so here on the fretboard, sorry about the lighting. On the 5th, the 7th, the 9th, and the 12th fret, you've got a death bat right here on the 12th fret. On the 9th fret, you got the S. On the 7th fret, you got the Y. And on the 5th fret, you've got the N, you know, Syn, and their logo right there. And you mostly see these kind of inlays on most of Schecter's guitars, like on the 3rd fret here too. But what makes this guitar really stand out is, you know, the Syn with the death bat right here on the 12th. Another cool little feature that I actually found out one random night was the side dot inlays. So I'm gonna show you guys real quick what that looks like. So yeah, these side dot inlays, they glow in the dark, which is pretty sick. They really do glow. So, you know, when you guys are playing at night or somewhere dark, you get to really see these, and they're jumbo. You can see them clear as day. So that's a pretty cool feature that I, you know, didn't even know until like I saw it one night. Here, right here, there's another small little feature that, you know, it's pretty hard for the naked eye. You've got like this black binding that goes around the whole entire guitar. It's very minor, but you get to see it when you're like up and close. And that's another little feature that I just randomly saw, because, you know, I really don't like to look at the specs until like later on. So this Floyd Rose right here, this Floyd Rose is a 1500 Floyd Rose. You know, it's one of their top tier Floyd Roses. It's not a special, or it's not a 1000. Personally, this Floyd Rose is one of the best ones I have because it doesn't get out of tune. It doesn't give me any issues. The only thing that when I first got this guitar, the springs on this thing was so bad. Like, I was barely touching it and it sounded like a spring mattress. So I did replace the spring on this guitar. The cool thing about this Floyd Rose stock from the factory, it's a push-pull, like push these in. It's not one of those like regular Floyd Roses you have to like screw around and you know they get loose. You can just screw it. You see that right there, like a little Allen key. You get to screw it right in there. And you can modify these, you know, if you, not on this guitar obviously, but like on your other guitars, you guys like how this feels. I bought in this push pull in, I think that's what it's called, whammy bar, and you know, you just switch it out and it's a lot more convenient. You know, when you want to change strings, take it off, or you don't want to use the whammy bar, put it right back on. Now here you have a 3-way selector switch and a volume, master volume and a master tone. No coil splitting or anything. It's just pretty standard stuff here. The pickups on this thing, on the bridge, you have a Synyster Gates. It's a little scratched up because I've been using it for a while. You've got this chrome Synyster Gates logo cover on it. And the pickup is a Synyster Gates bridge Schecter custom humbucker. You know, and these things are hand wound. I've actually bought in the Synyster Gates set. I think I got like the black one, but I gave that one to one of my friends that's a huge Synyster Gates fan. After I got the guitar, I was like, I'll just give it to him because he's also a huge Synyster Gates fan. For the neck position, you have a Sustainiac on the neck position. So in simple ways to explain how the Sustainiac works, you have 2 switches that come with every Sustainiac system. You have the down position, which is off, and up position's on, which is kind of confusing. You know, I would rather have it the other way around. So in the down position on this switch right here, it's the fundamental mode. On the up position, it's the harmonic mode. And in the middle, it's a mixture of both of them. When you have it in the down position, it just, when you hit a note, it just repeats that note over and over. When you bring it up to the harmonic mode, it just turns that into the harmonic of it. And then in the middle, it's just like a mixture of both of them. So you get pretty cool sounds out of it. And now in the system, how it works with this guitar, when you have the Sustainiac off, in the down position, you have your normal bridge position. In the neck position, this turns into a single coil. Why it does that is because down here in this coil, there's nothing in here. It's just empty. Let me show you guys real quick. See right there? There's nothing in there. Basically, it's just so it can fit in the humbucker cavity. What you're hearing is like this single coil. So if you guys ever played it and you guys hear the buzzing, it's because it's a single coil. And then obviously in the middle position, it's the humbucker with the single coil. Now, when you turn this thing on, right, I'm going to try to explain if anybody really wants to know how the Sustainiac works, what this is, right? Every humbucker has 2 coils in it with a bar magnet in the middle, you know, under it. And it basically goes from a kinetic energy to an electrical energy when you're playing the guitar. So it converts, you know, the magnetic pull from the strings to the magnet, which shoots out to your amplifier. Now with the sustainer system, what it does, it basically does like the opposite of it. So it turns it from electrical energy into kinetic energy, which I'll show you guys in the back. This thing runs on a 9-volt battery. How the system works, right? When you're playing with the Sustainiac on, all you're really hearing is these 2 bar magnets here. They're like really strong magnets, so it's making the strings vibrate like really hard. It's, you know, just continuing the vibration. What's really picking up the note is the bridge pickup. This is what's making the movement and everything, and then this is what's, you know, coming out into your amplifiers. When you have the Sustainiac on and when you're playing it, you can play it in any position, and all you're going to be really hearing is your bridge position. So, you know, having this thing up or down doesn't really matter if you have your Sustainiac on. I don't know if that kind of makes sense, but that's just how I know how this little system works. I just wanted to like throw that in there real quick. I might do a separate video on the Sustainiac because I've noticed that with my Schecter C1 Platinum, that Sustainiac's a little bit different. It like this one's a little bit harder to control. Like hold a note and then, you know, make sure nothing else is ringing because everything else is just gonna start shooting out. With my Schecter C1 Platinum, that one is a little bit different because it does have a EMG pickup in it, so it's a whole different system. There's 2 different battery compartments because that one runs on a 9-volt and then this one runs on a 9-volt. and that's a whole separate thing. But that's a little breakdown on how the Sustaniac system works. So something else that's different in this guitar is that his newer models, there's like a comfort cut over here on where your arm rests. And his older one, it was just flat like that. So that's something different that's new. In his older models, he had his Seymour Duncan custom invaders in it. And, you know, trying to play like Beast and Harlot, like the lead part for Beast and Harlot and, you know, the solo for Seize the Day, you kind of do need that neck pickup for it to get that like warm tone. Most of his newer stuff and, you know, live, he does sound a little bit, like he even says it, like he sounds a little nasally because this pickup, actually let's give it a little reading actually real quick. All right, so in the bridge pickup you get 16.92 k ohms, so that's a really extremely hot pickup. You obviously can't read the the Sustaniac because there's a preamp in there and you don't get any readings even with EMGs and stuff like that. But having that much output on this guitar, man, like Avenge, you already know they're pretty heavy. All right, so back here we have some mini Grover tuners here. They're not the really big ones. You got mini Grover black tuners. You have his signature right there. That's a decal. I don't think that's like an actual, yeah, it's not an actual signature, but it's like a decal. This guitar is crafted in South Korea, so you know these guitars from South Korea, they're really good. You have a little volute back here, which is great, so you know you don't have to worry about this neck snapping on you. Now here you have that Ultra Axis I was telling you guys about. You know, it's a set neck construction body, which is awesome. Now the only bad thing about this thing, man, is like it's a gloss neck. You know, with gloss necks, you know, they get sticky if you have sweaty hands like myself. You see that? It gets really nasty and gross. What I did do in the past, actually sprayed this thing with like matte clear and it played great, but it did come off because, you know, I didn't scuff it up, you know, how you're supposed to, and I didn't want to do that to this guitar. I did not want to purposely scratch it up. So his newer models, I think the US custom ones actually have that satin finish on the back of the necks. All right, so back here you do have a nice little belly cut right here. You have a 9-volt battery compartment for the Sustaniac. Now back here is where all the good stuff happens. Back here you have some quarter-sized potentiometers, that 3-way toggle switch right there. And here's the circuit board for the Sustaniac system. Back here you can adjust your like harmonics, your volume, and your gain. So, you know, all you have to do is just like twist it. So this right here is your harmonic, this is your gain, and this is your volume, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you can just adjust it. I haven't adjusted this one because I just kept it like how they shipped it out to me. Yeah, so there's actually a lot going on in this guitar. So all I'm gonna do now is just restring it and give you guys a quick little demo on it and give you guys my final thoughts on this guitar.
All right, so there it is, the Synyster Gates Custom S guitar. And this guitar to me, guys, is like my ultimate dream guitar. Little backstory, my wife actually gave me this guitar for my birthday like 2 years ago, or last year. It was around one of those times. My guitar hero is Synyster Gates. I'm very influenced by his playing and, you know, Avenged Sevenfold in general. And, you know, I wanted this guitar so bad, you know, growing up. I remember when I was like a kid, I really wanted this guitar so bad. Growing up, listening to Avenged Sevenfold, man, like it really did. It changed my life. It changed my way of playing. Obviously, he's got a lot of different color schemes in his guitars. But, man, this guitar, man, this to me is like that Frankenstrat for any, you know, Eddie Van Halen fan. You know, growing up, you know, whatever color guitar it was, you know, like listening to a certain album or watching a certain concert and you see like the guitar and you're like just so like amazed. You're like, wow, like, you know, that's what I want. This guitar was that to me, you know, growing up. You know, if you guys are Synyster Gates fans or you guys are Avenged Sevenfold fans, I highly recommend you, you know, trying to get this, even though it's not super cheap. It's not like, you know, anything that you can like say, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and go buy. But I do highly recommend it just because of the every spec on this guitar. You know, every feature that's in this guitar is just freaking awesome. And I personally love it. There's like, I've got so many guitars that this one I will never in my entire life sell. You know, I've sold and had so many guitars, traded guitars, but this guitar to me is like that Les Paul or that Fender Strat, you know, that people will never let go of. And that's what this is for me. Even Synyster Gates himself on the, I think Schecter website or the Sinner whatever website, he said it himself. He said he uses the same exact guitar that ships out of the warehouse. You know, like if he's like going on tour and he needs one of the guitars, he'll literally like tell Schecter, I need a guitar, and they'll ship him up the next one that was about to go out. So, you know, he's playing exactly what you have in your hands. So, you know, this thing is just a workhorse. It's literally the best guitar that I have that doesn't stay out of tune. I never had any issues with this thing. So I hope that this video kind of helped you guys really wanting to get it, because, you know, if you guys see it and you guys see other videos and you guys really want it, I really hope that this one helped you guys even more, you know, really wanting to get it. And with that, guys, like, comment, subscribe for more guitar related content, reviews, builds, anything, you know, that comes into my head, I'll just randomly do. So with that, guys, I'll catch you guys on the next video.